least anyone think they're immune or that this is only about the tropics. I don't think a lot of people in the United States of America would call the state of North Dakota the tropics. I hold up today the first noted case of a pregnant woman who's been infected by Zika. She was traveling, probably bitten by a mosquito, somehow contracted the Zika virus. She will now live in fear that the baby she's carrying will suffer the birth defects that we know are associated with this potential pandemic. Where's the answer for her? The answer that the North Dakota epidemiologist gave for her, which is good advice, is don't travel anywhere where we have Zika virus infections. I guess she's not leaving her house, because the way this is spreading and the way this is moving, that will be everywhere in the United States of America. And once it migrates and once it moves, what's going to stop it? And who's going to stand on the floor of the United States Senate and take responsibility for the lack of action, for the lack of responding to this public health crisis? That's why we're coming here today. This isn't about politics. This isn't about a public health emergency. We need resources, we need answers, we need tests, and we don't need to rob from other potential pandemics like Ebola to get this done. There isn't a citizen in the country who wouldn't say this is an obligation of the government to protect their people. We anticipate in Puerto Rico, a territory of this country, a lot of people travel to and from Puerto Rico, 1 in 5 people in Puerto Rico will be infected by the Zika virus. Do they know it? Probably not. Frequently, no symptoms come with the infection. So now we have to respond. Now we have to do what's right. And people will say, it's not, we can take this in regular order. That's what I hear is happening over in the House. They want to take this in regular order. Well, if it is a regular problem, why has the state of Florida declared a state of emergency? In February, this is not new. It's estimated that Florida will continue, as the Zika virus migrates, continue to be the next big place of infection. What does that mean to Florida? Not only does it mean that you have created huge insecurity for the families, particularly young women, the age of our children, who are now thinking about having babies, you created huge insecurity. If the answer is don't have babies, how many generations do we have to go? We don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. There is no test. There is no way to verify at this point, no rapid test. So when we look at this and we look at the effect that it's having, not only on our families and on family decisions, but you look at the effect that it is having on tourism. We all know that the Caribbean depends on tourism dollars to have stable governments. We all know that Florida is heavily dependent on tourism. People in my office have already canceled plans for Caribbean vacations. People I know have already canceled plans to go to Florida because they're afraid. What happens when everybody is staying home because they're afraid? This is not something that we can play politics with. This is something that should unite all of us. We should all be coming together, and if you don't like the president's plan, tell us what's wrong with it. Tell us what you need to change. Tell us what your experts, contrary to the experts at CDC who have arrived at this plan, tell us what your experts think needs to be changed and what level of accountability you need. This morning, I understand the argument isn't that we shouldn't spend the money. The argument is there's no accountability. Tell us what accountability. Come together. Let's solve this problem. Let's rise to the occasion here in the United States Senate. When confronted with this virus, let's come together. Let's show the people that we can respond. And I don't think that I'm exaggerating the potential health care effects. The World Health Organization has declared it an emergency. Conservative governor in Florida has declared it an emergency. And certainly for this young North Dakota woman, it's an emergency. She needs to know, and her family needs to know, exactly how this virus is transmitted and what she can expect going forward. And so she's just I think, one of the first cases. My great friend, the senator from Washington, not exactly the tropics, in the state of Washington as well, also has one case, and we don't know how many more. We don't know how many more. And so I am pleading, let's not wait. Let's treat this like the emergency it is. Let's do what we need to do to protect American families, particularly young women of childbearing age who are going to be devastated if this happens in their family. And so let's do the right thing. Let's come together. If there is a problem with the proposal, let's debate what that proposal should look like. Let's bring it to the floor. Offer amendments for accountability. Why are we waiting? Someone needs to answer that question, not just to me, but to the American family and the American people.